adorations to Goddess Lakshmi in each of you and in the whole world. We are celebrating Deepavali. Some people like to call it Diwali. In every language, it's normal. The vibration word is very big, so it's a vibes. So instead of Deepavali, it's a Diwali. Literally, Deepavali means rows of lights. If you imagine the traditions in India, in those times, this tradition has gone on for thousands of years. There was no electricity. On Deepavali, celebrating Deepavali, people went by a river or any sacred place or any open place, and they started with one lamp, earthen lamp called diya, deepak. The lamp contains a little oil, a wick, and then you kindle it with a flame. But all through the day, people have arranged so many lamps. They have oil or whatever. There can be ghee as well, whichever. Wicks are placed. When Deepavali starts, people start celebrating in a special way. One lamp is kindled, and then you invite other lamps. And so many people are ready. So they bring from different areas. And immediately from one it becomes 3, it becomes 6. There is geometrical progression. Thousands light up. And that's miracle to behold. I have to give you a subtle meaning. The spiritual evolution and progress is just like a lamp. Look in a lamp, there is oil. Oil is crude. It simply sticks. But the oil begins to flow through a wick. So the next stage of the oil is its movement, flowing. Third stage, it's kindled. The symbolism of the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Tamas is the oil. Ego plays the magic. Ego is the wick. As you allow your ego to be kindled by aspiration, by satsanga, the moment as ego gets kindled, as divine aspiration enters your heart, oil begins to move. The static state of your energy begins to come into another mode. It begins to flow. And that's progress. In individual level, the progress implies in the beginning you had no sensitivity. The idea of being good, generous, seemed just useless. In a world so crude, what's the use of generosity? and to stay brooding over your troubles day and night, coming to a state of not even knowing that we're brooding over. That's tamas. From tamasic state you must move. If you move into, as you evolve, you are coming to next stage. Now you will realize you have lots of ideas, lots of fancies, lots of fun waiting in your life. Outwardly it will appear that you were so good and now you became so vain. But that is not real. That's progress. Same applies with countries, the world. Any part of the world where people are extremely dull, they seem to relax. There isn't much of news coming from them. But the moment some progress starts, lots of aspiration, lots of discussions, lots of disagreements. And when you see this, the mind interprets this country is falling, going downward. Not so. Think of a body laden with toxic elements, feels inert. But there comes a healthy process that tries to throw out all that toxic aspect. But when it begins to throw out, you are not happy. You feel miserable. I'm just giving you very subtle points. But the third stage, luminosity. The rajas, instead of allowing your mind to just swell up with vanity, now you have learned the art of sublimating rajas. Anger sublimated into love. Conceit and pride sublimated into humility. Miserliness sublimated into generosity. Cruelty into compassion. And that's what begins to happen when the wick has been kindled. Now, in old style lamp, every now and then people watch the wick and they put a straw or something and flutter with the wick. Because something collects on the wick that doesn't allow the light to be free. Similarly, you have to go on shaking your ego, because ego is your wick. Trimming it to let the light flow in a more profound way. The entire spiritual process is taught by a little lamp. The oil, don't stay oily, gluey. Allow it to flow. Ego in you will help you. Conquer the tamas. Now you realize you have lots of possibilities, lot of energy. Now you come to higher level. That ultimate goal is God realization. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. And that means the light has started operating. But in order that light may become unobstructed, you go on trimming your ego. Otherwise, the moment ego develops a lot of egoism, vanity on the basis of material values, then the light that is potential within you does not blossom. So, ultimately, it is that light that leads you to enlightenment. Now I'm coming to more serious points. This was serious already. In the Vedic literature, how did this festivity begin? There's a story. There are four stories are there, prominent. First relates to Samudra Manthan. The story of churning of the ocean. Gods on one side, demons on the other. They developed the project to churn the ocean for attaining nectar. That's a big story, and I have to just give you simple points. When the churning began, churning of the ocean simply means churning of your mind. Mind contains all the ocean of the world. And meditation, reflection, all this is a method of churning it. When you begin to churn your mind, and according to this story, when the churning started, at the churning level, you need both aspects of your personality, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, forces of light and forces of darkness. You may say, oh, how should I use the forces of darkness? Push them away. If you don't have a little of anger, a little of crudeness, a little of naughtiness, a little of haughtiness, you can't accomplish anything. So the negative within you and positive within you, they both all become involved. Only in the end process, the negative begins to move away. In the hind plan, they are cheated. They don't get anything. The best thing, the positive forces of light get the everything. But as it was being done, many things emerged out of the ocean. There emerged poison, terrible poison. Shiva sipped it. So in his case, his throat became blue. Previously it wasn't. He's called Nilakanta. Always look at Shiva. He has already sipped up all the poison of the world. So why are you worried about the poison? Same mysticism of Christ. He has already sacrificed, atoned for all the sins of the world. Now, in this process of churning, there arose great things. The moon arose out of the ocean, many wonderful things. And there arose a Devi, Lakshmi Devi, shining, effulgent. And all the gods and the demons, their eyes became bigger and bigger, looking like everything that arose has to be shared, or it must belong to someone. To whom will the Lakshmi go? Lakshmi Devi looked around. Only one person was not looking at her, was Lord Vishnu. She came and garlanded Lord Vishnu. Think of the philosophy behind it. That's the stories are made by imagination. Don't take it literally. In no religion should you take stories of various types literally. It simply means greater the detachment within you, greater is real prosperity that will be drawn to you automatically. Detachment as detached as the sky. And what happens? All the dazzling clouds are drawn to the sky. And if they all turn black and ominous, doesn't matter. The sky is in no way affected. And the sky showers its compassion on all. Because who contains them? The sky. That state of attainment is the rehearsal, rather than the attainment of Vishnu-Lakshmi marriage. The state of Shubha Bhavana. Your feeling has become absolutely pure. And in your heart, that marriage is celebrated. In brief, your soul attains liberation. Next episode is Rama's attaining victory over Ravana. And after that victory, as Rama returns to Ayodhya, all people in Ayodhya, they celebrated with lights. So Deepavali celebrates Rama's victory over Ravana. Mystical meaning, Rama is the soul within you. Ravana is ignorance that expresses in three aspects: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Ravana had three brothers. Ravana himself represented Rajas. He had 10 heads. If anybody brought a news, 10 heads had to examine that. It's like terrible distraction. Kumbhakarna, his brother, has been portrayed like a terrible demon, gigantic, always interested in eating and eating. However, by his own dullness, he received a boon of sleeping for 6 months and keeping awake for only 1 day. That's the proportion the life lived by Dalwits. Stay dull. Just 1 day, 2 days in the year. Become awake. Christmas Day and some other day. Vibhishana was the third brother, who was Satvik. That story is big story, and I will not go into too much. But that's celebrated through Diwali. The victory of the soul over darkness, over ignorance. Ignorance in 3 aspects. Of the 3 aspects, Ravana and Kumbhakarna, Rajas and Tamas are destroyed. Pure Sattva stays. That's when Sattva is pure, there is no obstacle. Third cause for celebration relates to the story of Bali. A great demoniac king, Bali, developed an aspiration to control the three worlds. And Lord Vishnu played a trick on him. Each story is big. I'm just trying to think how to summarize it. Gods complained against Bali that if he continues to have all the domination, control over the three worlds, where will the gods go? There will be nothing godly on the earth. Lord Vishnu said, tell me about any good quality he has or not. He said, one thing he has, he always wants to be charitable. And he wants to be recognized as a person of immense charity. I'm also exaggerating it a little. Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of a dwarf before the assembly, royal assembly of Bali. And Bali was heading towards a great performance to secure his power over all the three worlds. Whenever we say three worlds, don't stay in suspense. It relates to physical, subtle, causal. Things of physical reality. That's the first word, gross. Things of senses. Good food, good drink, all types of pleasures. That's the next word. Think of intellect, pure feeling, qualitative attainment. That's the third word. And if these three words are dominated by negativity, ignorance, and relatives of ignorance, then there will be no spiritual evolution. The world will be stuck with darkness. Then, in order to cure this, Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of a dwarf and walked into the assembly, saying to the king, O king, I am a sannyasi, a monk. I have come to receive alms. You are saying you will give anything. I have some need. I need to have some place. And Bali thought. First he was very humored, you see, amused. The little man walking is an awkward. Suddenly he said, all right, ask. What do you want? He said, I want 3 steps of land. Just allow me to measure 3 steps from your kingdom, anywhere I choose. And Bali said, I never thought your mind is as small as your body. Could you have asked for more? And Lord Vamana said, you don't want to give me, all right. Just say no. And he said, oh no. If that's what you want, created a ritual of offering the 3 steps. Even there were good advisors telling Bali not to be fooled by this. Still Bali went on and made his pledge that I am giving 3 steps. Immediately he had done, Bali assumed a gigantic cosmic form, a transfiguration, that's dwarf. Vamana assumed that transfigured form. With one step he measured all the, out of the three, the first level he measured. Second step he measured the second and third. Third step was empty. He said, now I have measured all the three worlds with only 2 steps. And you have said, we'll give 3 steps. Bali suddenly realized with whom was he dealing. He said, put that step on my head. There is a Bali aspect in everyone due to ignorance that goes on highlighting the ego. And you can lead your ego to such an aberrated state. And that's pain for you and pain for the world. How to cure it? Allow the spirit within you to teach you a lesson in humility. And that lesson in humility is dramatized by Vamana measuring 3 steps. Now we'll be focusing on the 4th. Krishna destroyed Bhaumasura. This is most popular in relation to Deepavali. Bhaumasura literally means son of earth goddess. Earth is called Bhumi, and Bhauma is son of the earth. All this is allegorical language. When we speak of earth, it means earthly values, mundane values. And it is ignorance. Out of mundane value, there develops terrible ego in human being. That ego creates a hell for everyone. That ego in a human being, ego with rajas tamas, ego that is a blend of Ravana and Kumbhakarna. That's called Bhaumasura. And another name for this is Narakasura. Narak means hell. Asur is a demon. This demon, Bhaumasura or Narakasura, had a great general. The general's name is Mura. Mura is presented in the form of terrible demon with 5 heads. And he had 7 sons. Krishna took up the job of destroying Narakasura, Bhaumasura. This Bhaumasura was so powerful, he had kidnapped 16,000 princesses from great families and locked them all up. Krishna, along with Satyabhama, Krishna had 16,000 wives. But that will be the end result. At this stage, he doesn't have all the wives. Out of the wives he had, one wife is known as Satyabhama. Krishna, along with Satyabhama, riding on a Garuda bird, he headed towards destroying this great demon, Bhaumasur, and his general, Mura. This great demon had robbed the heavenly world. He had robbed the heavenly world in a very mystical terms. He had taken away the umbrella of Varuna. Varuna is the god of wealth. His umbrella keeps all economy in a proper context. If that umbrella is gone, your money will just move anywhere for no reason. Terrible calamity. Get it to a cliff. Another thing that he had taken away from gods, he had stripped Aditi of her earrings. Aditi is the divine goddess, another aspect of Vidya Devi, the luminous Devi. But the Devi shines because of her rings, earrings, implying if you have good listening, if you listen to scriptures, the Devi will shine within you. But if there is Bhaumasur in you, he has already taken the you have taken the earrings. Another, there is a Mani Parvat in the heavenly world, a mountain of jewels. The entire mountain was taken away by this demon. This mountain of jewels means Daivi Sampat, all divine qualities that you can develop. Your soul has boundless potentiality. But if hell is ruling over you, that is material value, then the spirit of Naraka, hell, has kidnapped all that. In Srimad Bhagavad Puran, this is all elaborately described. People watch with thrill in and they are shaken each time when Bhaumasur comes with his terrible force and Garuda bird goes after him. And first he had to destroy was Mura, a demon with 5 heads. 5 heads represent 5 senses. A mind that is steeped in worldly pleasure. What is most important for the mind? Sense pleasure. Where do the sense pleasure come from? The 5 senses. 5 senses are the heads of Mura. And Mura has 7 sons. The pleasure that you experience through your senses, think of a ray of light. It breaks into 7 colors. Similarly, this Vishaya Ras breaks into variegated colors, at least 7, implying just like the simile of the rays of the light, rainbow colors. The world is a rainbow colors of sense pleasure. No matter where you go, it's a rainbow, all types. But it is demoniac. Just simple pleasure to satisfy the senses. That's not what you are for, and will not satisfy you. Therefore, you are moving towards Krishna, towards God realization. You have to allow the divine within you to destroy your leaning on sense enjoyments. Mind must be awakened, enlightened to understand Vishaya Ras, the pleasure that is experienced through the senses and through the objects. That pleasure is in reality the divine bliss, but the bliss that is blended with venom. Take the venom out, real joy is perfectly normal. That's what you should have. But that will happen if Mura is destroyed. So Krishna destroys Mura with 5 heads, implying you begin to understand that though you lean upon the 5 senses to experience the world, your real attainment is not in the senses, it is in your mind. Not even in the mind, it is in your intellect, in your understanding. How do you understand yourself? Not even in your understanding, in your awareness. What you are deep down, you are not in the plane of senses. You are not in the plane of mind. You are not ego. You are always beyond. That understanding itself, the Devi of understanding is Satyabhama, shines with truth. As you practice sadhana, as you come to satsanga, your understanding begins to shine. Your spiritual movement speeds up with the speed of Garuda bird. And in that environment, Krishna, God within you, kills. You get absolute, profound vairagya, blended with viveka, discriminative knowledge. Vairagya is dispassion. Things that are not real, moving towards it is just an addiction. So Krishna first destroys Mura and his sons. Therefore Krishna is known as Murari, Krishna Murari. And then finally he destroyed Narakasur, Bhaumasur. As I have explained, Bhaumasur represents ego within you, ego with rajas and tamas. Ego that sustains 3 great impurities: kama, perverted desires; krodha, anger; lobha, greed. There are 3 gates to hell. Hell is a big state. On the gate there are 3 gates in it. One is written kama, another is written krodha, another is written lobha. Each one is decorated in such a way people are drawn. But once ego is dominated by sattva. You have cut down the Narakasur, Bhaumasur. And hell is no more for you. Hell has no place for you. In this process, after this hellish spirit is dominated, Krishna snatches from him all these treasures, the umbrella of Varuna. As your mind is becoming enlightened, moving in a spiritual way, the wealth that will come to you will be a boon to you, boon to others. Because you will be utilizing it with generosity. Because Mura is not sitting there controlling it. So, umbrella of Varuna comes to you. Your real wealth, again, is your divine qualities. And they're all under great umbrella. And the Devi who allows you to listen, her earrings are returned. She's fashionable. She likes to have those earrings. The more you listen to good things and you feel your heart flutters and joyous, that means the Devi is dangling her ears. And Mani Parvat, the great mountain of virtue, arises within your consciousness. All great qualities called Daivi Sampat. That treasure was taken away by Narakasur. Think of all the philosophies they put down. So, as a result of the destruction of Narakasur, the earth goddess comes and adores Krishna. Earth goddess, though it considers the son of the earth goddess, but the son was a demoniac. Earth goddess was more pleased that the son has been destroyed. In other words, earth is there for you, but nothing earthly in it. Now coming to another way to understand. Upanishad poses a question. What is the light? King Janaka goes to Yajnavalkya to receive his spiritual knowledge. And Sage Yajnavalkya says, O king, what's the light for people during the day? And he answers, the sun. When the sun rises, everybody works under the illumination of the sun. And then he says, well, what's the light during the night? He says, speech. If it's all dark and you ask someone, and someone says, here am I. But how will you know here? Where is here? It's all dark. But the speech guides you. And what's the light? When you experience dream. There is neither the speech nor the sun. And still there is light. That light is referring to awareness, consciousness. That consciousness is the light of lights. It is that consciousness that allows your intellect to function. So the intellect borrows the light from pure self. In turn, the intellect lights up your mind. Mind has borrowed the light from intellect. Intellect has borrowed from the self. Mind in turn lights up your senses. Senses in turn light up the whole world. Without your senses, your world has no meaning at all. You don't believe it? Close your eyes. All the visible world moves away. Still you don't believe it? Close your ears and close your eyes, both. There's nothing to see, nothing to hear. The world seems so big, but it's based on just 5 channels, 5 senses. And these 5 senses are illumined by mind. Your mind is not there, your senses don't achieve anything. Your eyes are open, things are happening, and you don't see. Says, how is it? Are you blind? Oh, says, no, I'm not blind, but mind wasn't there. The mind illumines your senses. And while mind is illumining, understanding comes only when intellect starts operating through the mind. It's the intellect that gives you understanding, what to do, what not to do. And intellect, if you go beyond intellect, that's why your reality is beyond intellect. As long as ego and intellect stay together, you are in a relative world. You are in a state of bondage. When intellect opens, becomes intuitional, you begin to understand you are not an ego personality. You are the I am, aham brahmasmi. As such, you are eternal. Nothing in the world can affect you. The world doesn't exist. The sun cannot be afraid of darkness, or can't be jealous of all the illuminations of the earth planet. So you are, like the sun. Absolute self, I am. And that I am you are using constantly, and yet is not inspiring. Perspiring. Life's challenge is to go on focusing your attention on your I am and learn the process and a faith that I am has boundless possibility. Always remember what the conversation between Rama and Hanuman. Rama asks Hanuman, how am I related to you? Hanuman says, Deha buddhyatu dasoham. As long as I view myself as body, I am a slave, you are the master. Jiva buddhyat vadanshaka. When I turn my attention to the soul, I am the soul. Then I am a ray, and you are the sun. And I have nothing to complain. Once you understand you are a ray, you have the whole sun behind you. How much you want to prosper? How much do you want to shine? There is no limit. But don't think of it in a quick fashion. You may say, oh, I understand it, but nothing happened. A big tree tells a baby plant, look, you have the potential to become like me. Big branches, bright blossoms, and you can do it. And the plant says, I understand it, my father, but I'm still baby. Now figure it out what it all means. Jyotisham vitat jyoti tamasaha paramuchyate. The divine self within you is a light of lights beyond darkness. Movement towards God within you is the Diwali. You become luminous. And each time people hear about luminosity, practicing little meditation, etc., they watch, see their faces shining. It may shine, it does shine. But luminosity implies you are joyous. People around you feel drawn to you to emulate your greatness. You look at the world with a friendly eye, and all the eyes become friendly. So that is light. When you can bring to the world an impact of harmony, peace, joy, and ability to blossom, you have set forth a process of Deepavali. And the entire world is dazzling with light. What else can I do? Well, come to Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.